Okay, so here's a problem from chapter 4, section 4. Let's look at it on Math Excel, and you can tell, oh, this one has several things in it. It's got a little multiplying, a little adding, and a little dividing. Now, so I've written this down on the pad, and let's see if we can thrash through this thing together a little bit here. Okay, so, well, first off, remember we have a whole string of calculations to do here. We have a whole string of calculations to do. And so remember, we've got our good old order of operations to help us. Okay, so remember this P stands for parentheses or grouping symbols. This E stands for an exponent. This says multiply and divide in order from left to right. This says then you add and subtract in order from left to right. All right, so in other words, parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide in order from left to right, add, subtract in order. And you do these in this sequence. You do this one, then this one, and so forth, right? So now just stop and look at this thing for a second. You've got multiplication, addition, and division. And you say, well, if I just did them in the order they're giving me, I'd multiply here, and then I'd add that, and then I'd do the division. And, I don't think that would work. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to do this in order from left to right. So when you look at it from that perspective, what you should see is you should see that I'm going to do some multiplication here, right? I'm going to do some division here, right? And then whatever I get from this, I will add those two together. You say, well, that looks confusing. Yeah, but you just have to realize that's the order that mathematicians have decided we're going to do these kind of calculations in. Now, this gives us an opportunity to just do some really simple decimal multiplication, right? Yeah, this is really simple stuff here, and I'm gonna wear you out probably, but you just have to hang with me. So I'm gonna say 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 4 is 32, and 1 is 33, right? Did I do that right? 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 4 is 20, and 1. And then I'm going to do what? I'm going to bring down the 6, the 3, the 4, the 2. Okay, so you say, there's your answer. Well, no, that's not the answer. I mean, that's what we got when we finished the multiplication. We did multiplication, and then we added. So what is the answer? What is the answer? Well, you got to figure out where to put the decimal point in this answer. So you have one place here and one place here. And so you're going to then add those together. And what do you mean one place? This counts off one place, a tenth, a tenth. So down here, we're going to count off not one, but 2 places. So our decimal point is going to get shifted to here. So that the answer to this part of this problem is going to be 24.36, 24 and 36 hundredths. You with me? Okay. Well, we haven't gotten to the addition part yet because we haven't done the division part yet. But I want to mash on this a little more. Just bear with me now. Bear with me. And you're saying, how do you know that's right? How do you know that decimal point winds up there? Okay. Well, you tell me if this bothers you too much. I'm going to rewrite this as 4.2 multiplied times 5.8. Okay. Now, don't panic, because now I'm going to write it this way. Oh, wait a minute. You're getting way off the line now. We're going back to fractions. Okay. Now, wait a minute. How did we multiply fractions when we had mixed numbers? Oh, my goodness. We said, right? Huh? Remember how to do that? 10 times 4 is 40 plus 2 is 42, so forth. Now what have I got? Now, follow my logic here. 10 times 10 is 100. What's 42 times 58? If you're paying attention to this video, you've already figured out that 42 times 58 is what? You've already figured out that 42 times 58 is what? 2436, 2,436. So now, but please look, this is what? 2,436 hundredths. Huh. Now, you say, okay, I think I've seen this before. Watch this. Oh my gosh. 24 and 36 hundredths. 24 and 36 hundredths. Well, I'll be darned. There's the answer right there. 24 and 36 hundredths. No, I'm not expecting you to do this every time you have one of these. I want you to understand, though, why this little stunt of counting the decimal places in the factors. These are two factors multiplied together to give me this product. When I count off the decimal places in these factors and shift the decimal point in the product that I initially get over to match up to the number of places, there's a reason why it works. I mean, it's not just somebody just flipped a coin and said we'll move it two places. There's a reason why it works. So you think about this a little bit. If this doesn't make sense to you, think about it a little bit and see if you can get it to where it does make sense to you. Now back to this. Okay, so this is division, right? Okay, so this is just going to be what? 0.9 divided by 1.5. Oh. Now, how do you do decimal division? Well, you have to convert your divisor, which is this thing here, to a whole number. And how in the world can you do that? Well, the technique says move the decimal point one place to the right here, and then move the decimal point one place to the right here, and bring it up to here for where it's going to be in your answer. Now, I'm going to go down here in a minute and do something down here that's going to explain why this move to one place to the right stuff works. Okay, you with me? So after I've done all that, now I'm going to just copy this down. And so now the problem I have is this. This is the problem I now have. Right? Yeah, that's the problem I now have, because when I moved it over, that's what I wound up with. Oh, and remember now, you can fill in zeros out here to help you do your work. So 15 won't go into 9. No, it won't. How many times will 15 go into 90? 6, right? 6 times 5 is 30, 90. And remember, that's a decimal point there, but you just forget about it because you got it up here in your answer. So, and you finally get a remainder of 0. So the answer to this is 0.6. Okay. You with me? What's the combined answer? Well, we can add that together, can't we? You say, no, I can't. 24.36 plus 0.6. Say you don't have anything to add right there. Okay, well, if you want to put a 0 there, that's fine. 6, because you got to add comparable place values. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. Decimal point 42. So the answer method cell should want is 24 and 96 hundredths. You want to put that in there now and make sure we got it right. Let's do that. Then we'll come back and we'll take a break from this and we'll explain this division part. But let's see if 24 and 96 hundredths is the correct answer. 24.96. Good answer. Now, back to the exciting problem. So now remember what I told you. As I was going to take this right here, this 0.9 divided by 1.5. I was going to explain that to you. 0.9, okay. Explain. You ready for this? Be ready. 9/10 divided by 1 and 5/10. Huh? Yep, 9/10 divided by 1 and 5/10. 9/10 divided by 15/10. Oh goodness. 9/10 divided by 15/10. How are we going to do this? Keep, change, flip. Okay. Now what do I get? Well, you just do this multiplication now, right? 9 times 10 is 90. 10 times 15 is 150. And You want to simplify this down a little bit? Yeah, I think so. Divide by 10. Get 9/15. Divide by 3. You get 3/5. 3/5. 3/5 is 0.6, which was the answer we got. Now, please notice that through all of this, what we were doing, ultimately, what we were doing now is, if you want to see me justify the decimal point movement, watch this. 9/10 divided by 15/10. Okay. Now, converting this by moving the decimal point one place to the right, and that's what I did, in both of these. I moved this one place to the right and that one place to the right. And so you can view that as nothing more than multiplying through by 10. Multiply this fraction by 10, this fraction by 10, this fraction by 10, this fraction, well, denominator by 10, numerator by 10. And you're going to get what? You're going to get 90 over 100 divided by 150 over 100. And then you can do your same keep, change, flip thing. So this whole business, now come back to this whole business of moving this decimal point one place to the right here, and moving it one place to the right here, is the same thing as multiplying this one by 10 and this one by 10, which, when you think about it in fraction form, is perfectly okay. I can multiply these two fractions and the numerator and the denominator by 10 and still have equivalent fractions. So you have an equivalent division problem when you move these decimal points around. Well, study this video. If this didn't make any sense, email me and I'll try to explain it better.